for some clues into that. Let's get to Eamon Javers with more on the White House and the Fed. Morning, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning, Carl. You guys have been discussing it this morning. We are in uncharted waters here in the balance of power between the president and the Federal Reserve. Now, President Trump, in that termination letter to Fed Governor Lisa Cook posted on social media, cited allegations by Federal Housing Finance Authority Director Bill Pulte that she made false statements on applications for her personal home mortgages. The Department of Justice has said it will investigate Cook because of Pulte's claim. Now, in a statement Monday, Cook said, President Trump purported to fire me for cause when no cause exists under the law and he has no authority to do so. Cook said, I will not resign. And she said, I will continue to carry out my duties to help the American economy as I've been doing since 2022. Now, Cook, who was appointed by former President Joe Biden, has hired attorney Abby Lowell to represent her. And Lowell, in a statement, said President Trump has taken to social media to once again fire by tweet. And once again, his reflex to bully is flawed, and his demands lack any proper process, basis, or legal authority. Now, all of this brings up a potential months-long legal challenge in the courts. And a big question for this morning, guys, will the Fed allow Cook to have access to her work devices or to the office itself today? That's a decision for higher-ups at the Fed. Is it the HR department or is it Jay Powell himself who will decide whether Cook can come in the building or access her email this morning? That's pending, right around the opening of business today. And then the question for Powell, guys, as we tease this out a little bit farther, is if he allows Cook to have access to the building today, does that give President Trump another reason to try to fire Powell, saying, for cause, because you allowed Cook in, I'm going to fire you? That's another thing to watch for as the day unfolds today. So very uncertain territory.
You are in Fed history here. People are bringing up the idea of previous Fed governors, whether it's Kaplan or Rosengren or others, where there were allegations of some improprieties and they stepped down. Is that an appropriate an appropriate allusion to make here in terms of the current state of affairs with Fed Governor Cook?
Well, in this case, the Fed governor hasn't agreed that she did anything wrong, right? And there's been no adjudication of that through any formal process, just an allegation by a Trump administration official. So I think you're more looking at a similarity with Rebecca Slaughter over at the FTC earlier this year. The president tried to fire her. She fought that decision. It ended up in the courts. A lower court, a district court, ruled in her favor. And then she returned to work after that. And then we saw an appeals court say, actually, we're going to put a stay on this. So Slaughter was not able to go back to work, had to leave the building. And that is all pending in the courts right now. I was texting with Rebecca Slaughter this morning, and I can tell you what she said to me over text this morning as the former FTC official fired by Trump. If the higher courts aren't going to check the president, he's going to keep pushing the envelope and removing the instruments of market stability to fulfill his short-term political goals. What Slaughter said to me this morning over text was, my big point is markets should be worried. Absolutely all checks on monetary policy independence are going out the window, guys.
Well, okay, Sam, why would she not just present everything she's ever done with mortgages, which I know her lawyer might not want to do, and just say, look, there's nothing wrong here, and move on? Because if the Justice Department isn't taking action right now, and we see her documents, and her documents are innocent, well, I mean, that's going to be very difficult to have cause if her documents are innocent.
Sure.
Why don't we just see the documents?
I mean, there's two possibilities here, Jim, right?
She should put them out this morning.
There's two possibilities, right? One is her documents are clean. The other is they're not, right? And that the FHFA has found something that she did that was check a box inappropriate. And then the question is, can she fight it even if that's the case, right? And I think her legal defense is, and this will be for Abby Lowell to decide, of course, but I think her legal defense here would be the predicate for this investigation was itself political. This is a witch hunt, not a broad look at particular mortgage issues in the market, but this was an attempt to target me specifically, therefore it's illegitimate. I would guess the question is going to be, why did Bill Pulte pull these documents in the first place? Was there any predicate for him legally other than politics to look at this?
Well, look, if we see the documents and they're there's nothing, and she shows you the documentation. I think the president may have to go back on this.
The loans we believe.
If there's nothing, but if there's something, it's another case, right?
Oh, absolutely. If there's something, it's what David talked about, which is a proprietary. It's a propriety issue. A propriety is.
Was this a proper investigation? Was it conducted for political reasons or not?
Right. That was the discovery we mentioned a moment ago. We think the loans were outside the scope of her office and through credit unions, not under Fed authority.
Right. But I would just I would end this thing today. I would say, look, here's everything I've done. This is not insane. Look, if you traded on something, you don't really have anything to show. It's good. But if you did a mortgage and say, listen, here, America, there's 300 million people who do this. Here's mine. Here's what my house is valued at. Here's what I did with that. I mean, I have a credit union thing. I show you that. And he's like, here. You think I'm fraudulent? I don't know. Tell me. I got the loan. The bank said it was okay. What's the issue? That could really hurt. That could hurt this whole thing. That's what I would do if I were her.
We're obviously going to keep a close eye on it today and keep a close eye on Fed headquarters.